Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Amid Trump tariff threat, Brazil President Lula dials Prime Minister Modi. Both reaffirm commitment to strengthen India-Brazil strategic partnership. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval meets Russian President Putin in Moscow amid Trump's tariff on India over Russian oil, says Putin's India visit dates almost finalized. Netanyahu plans to take complete control of Gaza as warnings mount, while Hamas says the remarks are a coup amid ceasefire talks. France's biggest wildfire in decades will continue to burn for several more days, but under control. 16,000 hectares affected, an area bigger than Paris, dozens of homes destroyed. A very good morning to all the viewers joining us at this morning broadcast. To begin with the latest, Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a telephone call from President of Brazil, Lula Inácio Lula da Silva, on Thursday. During the talks, Prime Minister Modi recalled his visit to Brazil last month, during which the two leaders agreed on a framework to strengthen cooperation in trade, technology, energy, defense, agriculture, health and people-to-people ties. Building on these discussions, the two leaders reiterated their commitment to take India-Brazil strategic partnership to newer heights. The two leaders also exchanged views on various regional and global issues of mutual interest. Prime Minister Modi and Brazilian President also agreed to remain in touch. Prime Minister Modi in a social media post stated that he had a good conversation with President Lula. He thanked the Brazilian president for making his visit to Brazil memorable and meaningful, and further said, I quote him here, "We are committed to deepening a strategic partnership including in trade, energy, tech, defense, health and more. A strong people-centric partnership between Global South nation benefits everyone," unquote. On the other hand, Brazilian president also posted on social media about his telephonic conversation with Prime Minister Modi. President Lula stated that Prime Minister Modi and he discussed the international economic scenario and the imposition of unilateral tariffs, as Brazil and India are so far the two most affected countries. They also reaffirmed the importance of defending multilateralism and the need to address the challenges of the current situation, as well as to explore possibilities for greater integration between the two countries. Well, the Brazilian president also confirmed the holding of a state visit from Brazil to India early next year. And as a preparatory step for the visit, the two leaders agreed that Vice President of Brazil, Geraldo Alckmin, will travel to India next October on the occasion of the Trade Monitoring Mechanism meeting. The leaders also exchanged information about the virtual payment platforms of the two countries, including PIX and India's UPI. They also talked about the successes of BRICS Summit in Brazil and working together for the transition to the next presidency of the bloc, which will be led by India. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, during his recent visit to Moscow, confirmed that Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to visit India. Now, this came after NSA held talks with President Vladimir Putin on Thursday in Moscow. During the meeting with Putin, the two leaders discussed ways to further strengthen the Russia-India special and privileged strategic partnership. The two leaders also emphasized the importance of joint efforts in preparation of the bilateral summit by the end of this year. Now, they also discussed cooperation between Russia and India in multilateral formats and exchanged views on topical issues of international security. Earlier, NSA Ajit Doval also met Secretary of Russia's Security Council, Sergei Shoigu. He described the India-Russia ties as very special and emphasized the strategic depth of relationship.
We have got a very special relationship, a long relationship, and we highly value our strategic partnership. We have had high-level engagements and these relationships, these high-level engagements have contributed very substantially. We are very excited and delighted to learn about the visit of His Excellency the President of Russia, President Putin, to India. I think that the dates are almost finalized now. The more important thing is this, that is, these summit meetings have always been the watershed points.
Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met Indian Ambassador to Israel, G.P. Singh, at his Jerusalem office on Thursday. The Prime Minister and the Ambassador discussed the expansion of bilateral cooperation, especially on security and economic issues. Prime Minister Netanyahu then met with senior Indian journalists and answered their questions. Now, strengthening green partnership, India on Wednesday officially handed over the first batch of 10 electric buses to Mauritius. High Commissioner of India, Anurag Srivastav, handed over e-buses to Prime Minister Navin Chandra Ramgoolam in the presence of the ministers, junior ministers and senior dignitaries. The High Commissioner described the buses as moving symbols of our friendship and commitment to a cleaner and greener planet. While Prime Minister Ramgoolam recalled the historic state visit of Prime Minister Modi to Mauritius in March and highlighted this e-bus project as a paradigm shift in public transport and a symbol of the special relationship that has stood the test of time. He also highlighted its role in reducing emissions, cutting fuel imports and creating jobs in e-mobility. He appreciated India's role in high-profile infrastructure and future-ready sectors, including blue economy, AI and technology, food and maritime security. Moving on, the political heat inside the Parliament continues. The National Committee for Protection of Media Persons Bill 2024 will be introduced in the Upper House today. The bill is all set to provide for the establishment of a National Committee for Protection of Media Persons for the effective prevention of violence. Several other key bills will also be introduced in the Rajya Sabha. The names of the bills are up on your screen. This includes the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Amendment Bill 2024, the Criminal Laws, the Public Examinations Prevention of Unfair Means. It also includes Representation of the People, the Right to Free Cancer Treatment, the Urban Areas Bill as well. And apart from that, we are also expecting the Legislative Impact Assessment Bill to be tabled today, the Cybercrime Bill 2024, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Amendment Bill 2024, along with the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill 2024, Constitution Bill, and the Census Bill 2025 as well. These are the details of the bills to be tabled today. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is the amendment bill of 2024, whereas the Constitution Bill is also a part of it. And apart from that, the Airline Passengers' Rights Bill 2024 is also to be tabled. The National Commission for Welfare of Sugarcane Farmers is also to be tabled, along with the Employees' Wellbeing Bill. The National Food Security Bill, along with the Child and Adolescent Labour Amendment Bill with the Right to Information Bill 2025 are also to be tabled. The Records of Court Proceedings Bill 2025, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Court Bill 2025, Information Technology Bill is also to be tabled at the ongoing monsoon session of the Indian Parliament today in Rajya Sabha. Now let's take a look at the Lok Sabha bill procedures as well. The National Sports Governance Bill will be tabled at Lok Sabha, along with the National Anti-Doping Bill will also be taken up, and the Indian Ports Bill is also in the line. So a lot of business is expected from both the houses today. The bill will consolidate the law relating to ports, promote integrated port development as well, and ensure the optimum utilization as well. Moving on. Police on Thursday busted a terrorist hideout in forest area of Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir. Well, on a specific input in the Gogaldara Danwas forest, Baramulla police busted a terrorist hideout. 1 pistol, 1 magazine, 9 rounds, 1 grenade and medical supplies were recovered during the operation. The FIR has been registered at Police Station Tangmarg and the investigation is currently underway. After nature's fury struck northern state of Uttarakhand's Uttarkashi district, a massive rescue and relief operation is underway. The Army, Air Force, NDRF, SDRF are working round the clock in challenging conditions. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami is closely monitoring the entire situation. Our next report gets you all the details. Take a look.
Over 270 people have been rescued till Thursday evening in a massive multi-agency operation 2 days after a devastating cloudburst triggered massive flash floods and landslides in Uttarakhand's Uttarkashi district. The Army, NDRF, ITBP, SDRF, Uttarakhand Police and local administration are working round the clock in one of the most challenging terrains in the country.
4 teams of NDRF, are there present on ground zero, and they are conducting search and rescue operation. Apart from this, there is an important action of evacuation of the people who have been stranded on the Gangotri axis. They are being evacuated in joint operation with other agencies, and the special equipments, heavy machinery, and cadaver dogs are being employed there to ensure that the operation gets successful.
In a critical boost to the operation, the Indian Air Force has deployed Chinook heavy lift helicopters, flying in essential supplies and evacuating the stranded. Air Force stations in Agra and Bareilly were activated overnight to load relief material and coordinate deployment with army teams on the ground. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has been on the ground leading from the front. This morning, he reviewed operations with NDRF, SDRF and district officials and visited hospitals to meet the injured. The Chief Minister has ordered strict monitoring of food, water, road restoration, electricity and communication lines.
सेना के लोग, ITBP के लोग और NDRF के लोग और हमारे यहाँ की SDRF सारे लोग बचाव के काम में लगे हैं। सभी विभाग BRO के लोग भी यहाँ पर हैं और सभी प्रकार के प्रबंध किए जा रहे हैं। कल तक हमारा ये मौसम इसी प्रकार बना रहेगा तो कल तक सभी लोगों को हम लोग वहाँ से निकाल लेंगे।
Meanwhile, the Border Roads Organization is racing against time to restore access to the cut-off regions. In the first phase, efforts are focused on clearing the 4 major landslide points and repairing a key bridge, with work expected to begin by tonight.
हमारे जो ब्रिज के जो स्टोर्स हैं वो ऑलरेडी गाड़ी में लोडेड है, हमारे जवान तैयार हैं। हम इनको आगे मूव करेंगे जैसे ये सड़क की कनेक्टिविटी बनती है और लामचीगढ़ में हम ब्रिज, हमारा अनुमान है कि आज रात तक हम वहां पर ब्रिज स्टोर्स पहुंचा करके हम कुछ काम शुरू कर पाएंगे।
Amid heartbreak and debris, stories of resilience, courage and solidarity are emerging. The state machinery and armed forces are pulling all stops to bring life back to the mountains. And for hundreds stranded, every helicopter, every cleared path is a lifeline. Bureau Report, DD India.
Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. Ghana's president promises thorough investigation into a military helicopter crash that killed 8 people, including the ministers. US President to nominate Council of Economic Advisers Chairman Stephen Mirren to serve as the Federal Reserve Governor. And India's Arjun Arigaisi begins on a winning note at the ongoing Chennai Grand Masters. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live. Moving on to Gaza situation in West Asia. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Thursday that Israel plans to take full control of Gaza but does not intend to govern it, as he convened his security cabinet to discuss updated plans 22 months into the war. Netanyahu said that Israel wanted to hand over the territory to Arab forces that would govern it. Netanyahu told Fox News that Tel Aviv doesn't want to keep the Gaza Strip, which Israel took over in 1967, but withdrew troops and settlers in 2005. While he was expected to seek the cabinet's approval for an expanded offensive that could see ground troops operate in densely populated areas where hostages are believed to be held. Netanyahu's government has insisted on total victory over Hamas that ignited the conflict with its deadly October 2023 attack on Israel from Gaza.
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas. And you were in the Gaza Strip today. You met Palestinians who are fighting Hamas because finally they see that they have a future. They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage. That's got to end.
While taking another step to secure peace in the region, Lebanon's cabinet approved the objectives of a U.S. proposal for disarming Hezbollah by the end of the year, along with ending Israel's military operations in the country. Lebanon's cabinet met on Thursday for the second time in days to discuss disarming Hezbollah after the Iran-backed group rejected the government's decision to take away its weapons. Information Minister said the cabinet endorsed the introduction of the U.S. text without discussing specific timelines. The objectives of the U.S. proposal include phasing out the armed presence of non-state actors including Hezbollah, deploying Lebanese forces to key borders and internal areas, ensuring Israel's withdrawal from the 5 positions, resolving prisoner issues through indirect talks, and permanently demarcating Lebanon's borders with Israel and Syria. The U.S. proposal aims to extend and stabilize a ceasefire agreement between Lebanon and Israel brokered in November. Meanwhile, U.S. welcomed the Lebanese government's decision to task the Lebanese armed forces to bring all weapons under state control.
This is an important step towards Lebanese sovereignty. We continue to watch developments in Lebanon very closely. Special Envoy Tom Barrack made it clear what the president needs to see. As long as Hezbollah retains arms, words will not suffice. The Lebanese armed forces must fully commit and act now to fully implement the government's decision. The credibility of Lebanon's government rests on its ability to match principle with practice.
Moving on to Ghana now, Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama promised a thorough investigation into a military helicopter crash that killed 8 people, including 2 senior government ministers. The crash that occurred on Wednesday in the Adansi region claimed the lives of Defence Minister Edward Kofi Omani Bouma and Environment, Science and Technology Minister Alhaji Dr. Murtala Mohammed, along with 3 other passengers and 3 crew members from the Ghana Armed Forces. Mahama said in his televised speech that an investigative board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the cause of the crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have been retrieved.
And as we mourn, questions about the cause of this tragedy are only natural and important. And I want to assure the families and the nation that the Ghana Armed Forces has initiated a full and transparent investigation into the circumstances of this crash. An investigative board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the cause of the crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have both been retrieved.
The President, visibly emotional, described the incident as a deep personal loss, extending condolences to the families of the victims on behalf of the government and the people of Ghana. The helicopter was en route to the gold mining town of Obuasi when the accident occurred. The authorities have not yet provided any explanation for the possible cause of the crash. Well, France is facing yet another intense heat wave that has lasted for the past 2 months. In many cities, temperatures have crossed 40 degrees Celsius. The extreme heat has also led to wildfires, especially in the southern parts of the country. The authorities have issued a red alert and are advising the people to stay indoors during the hottest hours and keep themselves hydrated. Rohini Kusavi files this report.
France is facing one of its worst heat waves in recent years. In June and July, temperature raised about 40 degrees Celsius in cities like Paris, Bordeaux and Toulouse. Dry air and rising temperature caused massive and largest wildfire in south of France. More than 13,000 hectare area burnt out. Nearly 2,000 of firefighters and water bombing aircrafts are fighting and saving the lives. Experts are saying over and over again that climate change caused the heat waves.
Even though we're on this global warming, increasing temperature kind of ladder, on top of that we always have variations, and some of those are due to, for instance, to this ENSO phenomenon. And in 2023-24, there was a strong El Nino, and that typically boosts temperatures above that kind of ever-increasing ladder. And now we're still on that ever-increasing ladder.
This intense heat has had serious effects on people. French Health Department confirmed nearly 500 deaths during June and July, mostly among older people, children and those who work outdoors. At the same time, more than 400 people drowned while trying to cool off in rivers, lakes or the sea without taking enough safety measures. People are struggling hard to keep themselves cool as temperatures keep rising.
For older people and for the children it's very difficult, but even for us, I mean for me also it's very difficult. We're much more tired, it's very difficult to sleep at night, and so if it's just 1 or 2 days it's okay, but when it lasts for more than 1 week I really start to be tired by the heat.
Recent years the temperature were increasing, so we are obliged to go to the south of France and to discover other countries like Spain, Italy, where they have more beaches and seas. But if we're staying here in Paris and seeing the sun, we have to put our hats, put our sunscreens. So yes, and here in Paris we don't have the notion of air conditioner, so we are obliged to open our windows and to pray to God to give us some good weather.
Many outdoor activities stopped due to heat. More than 200 schools were shut down right before summer holidays. The top floor of Eiffel Tower was shut down. Cities like Paris turned into ovens. Metro trains become too hot to use and people are using public fountains as places to cool down.
I go to the park with a tree and swimming pool. It's very difficult for me.
Normally I stay in my home and I close the door, the window, tout ça. Yeah.
Scientists say climate change has made this heat wave 3 times more deadly, and August brought new heat warnings with new spikes of temperature. And such conditions are no longer unusual. This has become the new normal. France faces now clear warning. Such heat waves come often, stay longer and feel even worse. Expert says we must act fast to save people and fight climate change. This is Rohini Gosavi in Paris for DD India.
Moving on. US President Donald Trump on Thursday said he will nominate Council of Economic Advisers Chairman Stephen Miran to serve as the Federal Reserve Governor. Miran would fill the position opened by Federal Governor Adriana Cooler's surprise resignation announced last week, as she now returns to her tenured professorship at Georgetown University. The term expires on the 31st of January in 2026 and is subject to approval by the Senate. Miran has advocated for a far-reaching overhaul of Fed governance that would include shortening board member terms, putting them under the clear control of the president. Trump has unsuccessfully pushed the Federal to cut the rates. Miran, if confirmed by the Senate, would have one of 12 votes on monetary policy at the Fed that voted 9-2 last month to keep rates steady. Now updates from sports, to begin with the chess first. The highly anticipated third season of the Chennai Grandmasters Chess Series officially commenced in Chennai on Thursday. Now this year, the tournament sees a significant increase in both the number of the participants and the prize money. A total of 20 elite players are participating across two categories, Masters and Challengers. The Masters category features 10 world-class players, including India's top talents Arjun Arikaisi, Vidit Gujarati and Nihal Sarin. The Challengers section also brings together some of India's brightest young stars, including Karthikeyan Murali and Vaishali Ramesh Babu. India's Arjun Arikaisi and German Grandmaster Vincent Keimer got off to a winning start at the ongoing Grandmasters tournament. Arikaisi delivered a commanding performance against American Awanda Liang, while Keimer showed flawless technique to defeat Nihal Sarin. The two victories stood out on an otherwise balanced day in the Masters section, with all other games ending in draws. In the Challengers section, top-ranked Indian players Diptyan Ghosh and M. Pranesh also registered victories in the opening round. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code to download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live.